What's up, fam? I am Chosen144. Shadow work is so important. It's a must. Facing your own shadows is a must. It is mastery of self. And if somebody has the ability to trigger emotion in you, they become your master. Master yourself so that you are in control of your reality. Because your emotions and your thoughts control how your reality plays out. So obviously, if somebody else can make you think a certain way or make you feel emotions about something whenever they want to, they're in control of you. This is why shadow work is key. I look at it as like a tool belt and you're adding tools to it. The give a fuck less tool belt. You know what I'm saying? This is powerful stuff. So, when somebody triggers you with something that they say, by having an opinion that you don't agree with, whatever the fuck, have a think about it. Sit with it. Think about what triggered me. Like, how did they trigger me? What exactly did they say? And what is it that's deeply rooted in me that allowed that to trigger emotions in me? And face into it. You know what I'm saying? Face into it. This is an example, okay? I have a very sordid past. I've been through all sorts of shit. If I told you, you wouldn't believe me. But here's an example of shadow work. And this is a true story. I was in a job where I had awoken. I was aware that it was time for me to start facing my own shadows. And this is interesting because it was an inanimate object that got me triggered. I was doing an analysis on fragments of metal. Long story. I was using an X-ray machine to do an analysis on fragments of metal. And there's little plastic sample bags that the little fragments of metal go in that I was analysing. And I couldn't for the life of me get this little bag open. And it's such a simple thing. I was alone in the lab and I was opening this little plastic bag and it infuriated me. And I'm doing this and I'm doing these ones, and then eventually I got it open. But I was really upset. And I was like, wow, what the fuck was that about? I've got to address this. So I thought I'll address this later. And I was soon finished with that shift at work. And I went home and I sat with that. I meditated. I sat with that with the intention of mastering myself in regards to the emotions that started to come to the surface from this little bag. And sure enough, I started to have a lot of flashbacks from when I was a heavy heroin addict. I was a heavy drug user a long time ago. And they're the little bags that some of these substances that I would get my hands on whenever possible would be in. I hadn't forgiven myself for the destruction that I had done to myself. I hadn't faced into that. I had suppressed it. And it's funny, a little inanimate object like a bag was the key. This is how it works. So even certain things, just objects, can trigger an emotion in you. Certain places, which is part of my teachings, that part of my sort of mentoring is place work, which is basically shadow work involving a certain place. You take yourself there mentally or you go there physically so that you can face a trauma, you know what I'm saying? And choose to forgive it. The forgiveness arrives when it arrives. You arrive at forgiveness when you arrive. That part's not linear, but you face it. Yes, I did damage to myself. I did damage to others. I realised that this is buried deep in me and still causing me pain. And I choose to forgive myself. I choose to forgive others. And I release this now. Back to the universe. It's not who I am. It was an experience that I moved through at that part in my life that has nothing to do with me. The past can be riddled with regret if you attach to it. And you can be attached to the past without even realizing it. You know what I'm saying? That chapter of my life was fucking a bookshelf ago. A bookshelf of stories ago. And it was brought to my attention that I hadn't forgiven it. I hadn't released it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean about adding to your tool belt of not giving a fuck. And when I say not giving a fuck, I mean not allowing anything to trigger you anymore. This is self-mastery. And it can take a couple of goes. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, it happens straight away there and then. Like I said, arriving at the forgiveness is not linear, because forgiveness isn't just I accept that. Shame that happened. I accept that. Forgiveness is what happened. Maybe why did it happen at that time? How did it happen? That's not who I am. I'm no longer attached to that. I forgive that. I forgive myself for being a part of that. I'm releasing myself from that. I release that person. I release that thing now. You know what I'm saying? It's all done mentally. And if you have to go to a place, like I said, I teach place work. If you have to go there, you can go there mentally, or you can physically go to a place that triggers that trauma, that event that you haven't healed from, and you face into it. It's kind of like, a fighter. They learn the jab. They learn the cross. They learn the hook. They learn the uppercut. They learn the teep kick. They learn, the fucking thigh kick. Whatever it is, it's adding to your tool belt. And at first you might not get that rotation right. At first you might not get those hips in to generate power. It takes a little bit of practice, and it takes your participation in it. And it takes you not just accepting something, but 100% arriving at approval of it taking place, just as an event that you've moved through, that you've grown from. And when you shine that type of consciousness light on a shadow aspect of yourself, it integrates. It becomes a superpower. Things will occur again and again, and you're like, wow, I'm really getting a hold of this. That no longer disturbs me. That no longer triggers emotion in me. I've arrived. I've let that go. I've approved. This is very important. It's very powerful. And before you know it, you're hitting combos. You know what I'm saying? And your life starts to flow like a combination. You've got all the tools you need. Your confidence comes back. You remember who you are. You remember you're in control. You remember that nothing outside of you has control over you. You feel powerful because you heal yourself. This is alchemy. You know what I'm saying? What comes from that part of my life? I now can relate to people going through that sort of thing. And I can impart a little bit of knowledge about things. I will never be in danger of falling into that sort of thing again. Because I've been there, done that. Took photos, bought the fucking t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? And then I write about it. And then I make music about it. And, you know, it becomes a superpower rather than something that is dragging you down. Something that is controlling you. Shadow work is mastering self. I fucking love you, fam. Peace, love, and light.